Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. I'm your brow expert because I've been shaping eyebrows for almost 25 years at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, please stop by and get your brows shaped by yours truly. And some of you guys have. I have had the pleasure of shaping some of your eyebrows. So thank you for trusting me with the eyebrows. So keep coming in and hope you guys walk away with some good eyebrows and some tips along the way. So this model I'm going to show you today has, I think, a pretty common shape eyebrow. So many of my clients have this eyebrow, and although when you look at it, you're going to say it's not so bad, it could always be better, right? So her brows have a nice full set here, and we often do. We usually have a full eyebrow up in the front. The rest gets really thin and not much of an arch, but we keep that full eyebrow up in the front so that we can have that full brow, right? Except for the fact that it takes away from that kind of even, not so much even, but more of a balanced look. So I'm going to show you in just a second with this client and on myself how much more balanced the brows can be, and it makes the overall face look like it makes more sense, right? I have a brow tattoo. Some of you guys know this by now. If you check out some of my previous brow videos on the pros and cons of microblading, the world of tattoo, and some color choices, it can really help you guys out and maybe thinking of getting it tattooed or not. So check that video out. I always use myself as a model, so that's why I covered it a little bit with a concealer, and so the colors are always going to come off a little bit off and darker. But the color will always be perfect with the client that I'm going to show you. Okay, so I will be using pencil on her. I'll be using a powder on myself simply because I don't have to disturb that concealer I use. So without further ado, let's get into this eyebrow. So as I've said, pretty good eyebrows. You probably look at it and go, you know, I like her eyebrows. And you know what? I do too. It's really pretty, but it doesn't have a high of an arch like she would like. And the front is a little bit fuller, but it makes the rest look a little too thin. So that's something to keep in mind. When you have the front really full and wide, it actually gives the illusion that the rest of the eyebrows is really skinny, when it may not be. So when you have the front a little bit thinner, you have more of that balance. But thinner, not thin. Remember that, okay? So on her, I'm going to show you that outline right here. You can see if you imagine hair or color in that white outline, it makes more sense. It's a little bit fuller, but I'm not disturbing too much of that shape up in the front, as you can see right here, right? So with this outline, that really shows you how the brows can be or what it should be, right? So I'm going to do a little bit of waxing and shaping on her. On myself, because I don't have any hair, I did exaggerate a little bit of color underneath to try to make it look a little bit like hers. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that's why my color is going to come off also a little bit different. But I'm going to use the brow powder, where with her I'm going to use the brow whisk. So if you want to make this outline, you should go for it because it really does help. But this, again, just gives you a visual as to what I'm going for. Now, the waxing, that little area is going to be very important. I'm actually going to use a highlighter. We're gonna pretend that this is my wax. And you know what? This is a really good tip. Here's a tip for you guys. If you have hair below there and you're not ready to commit, you're not sure if you should take it off or have it taken off, use a highlighter like this or a concealer. I'm using the Matte Camille. These are all by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I will tag the products and list them. But again, we're going to pretend that this is wax. And I'm just going right underneath, right here. And I laid that wax right where, see, the skin is also nice and clean. All the fuzz has been waxed off, and I'm using the tweezers to finish the shape. That highlighter is Matte Shell. This is Camille. I just want something bright so you guys can see. But when the skin is waxed with the fuzz taken off, the highlighter just grabs easily on the skin. And again, it's kind of going straight in an angle, opening it up. And this is what I'm telling you guys should try doing. See if you want to do this and see if you want that hair taken off. Now, I might have gone a little too high up there, but you guys get the point. Let me just put in a little bit of color right here. You don't want to go that high up because you know what? You can always go higher and higher, little by little. Okay, so pretend this is the wax. Now that brush is everything, right? Because you guys always see me using the brush 18. And this just really helps just kind of get it much more clean and precise. I'm using the Brow Wiz medium brown. Now, if I were to use the Wiz, it would be ash brown for me. The medium brown is perfect for her. She can also use the taupe, it's a little bit lighter. I'm just showing the pencil this way because I don't want you guys to use too much of the pencil. If you use it just this little piece right here, it's going to be enough. Any longer and you can break the pencil, and you don't ever want to use it this way anyway, because when you put on the pencil head on like this, you can snap the ends and you apply too much pressure. That's something else that I always keep in mind. I always talk about light pressure because you work with it better. You can always build and add more if you need to, but by light pressure, you don't disturb the hair as well. So I'm making a little measurement here. Pinch of the nose and over the iris or the pupil, if you will. So when I say pinch, I always mean this little cradle area right here at the pinch, and over the pupil or iris in that angle. I tell all my clients to make that little line. See that line? That line is gonna come in handy. That is gonna be your benchmark, if you will. Okay, so the angle that she's in, like the video, the face angle that she is at, it looks like it's right in the middle. But if you look at me, it's kind of over at the corner there, okay? But if you looked at her head on, it's also right over at the angle, like this way. So make that little line. Now, why is that line important? Did you notice that I just brushed the hair down? I don't have any hair to brush down, but I'm sure you guys do. You guys probably have more hair than I do. So brush the hair down. You can see right here how much the hair is, how much thinner it is up there. So by brushing it down, it's going to give you a kind of a clearance right there to draw the brow in that you want, right? The way that I'm telling you to draw them in. Okay, so I'm using the Ash Brown Dual Powder. Again, just using the pencil on her. Notice that it's just going right in an angle, reaching over to that little line I made. And then I'm going on the outside. This is what I call the secret spot. I'm calling it the secret spot because when you apply that color underneath, a lot of color, and making that outline, and no one will know. No one will know that you put that much color except for you. So that's your secret and mine and everyone else that sees this video. Okay, so you make this, I will make this outline on myself, and you'll see just lightly. I usually use the right side of the eyebrow. Today I'm just using the left. I don't know why, but anyway, so see how I'm reaching over to that tip of that line, and then I'm going down, but not too far down, always on the outside. So you see my outline like hers. There's my secret spot right there. And the easiest part is going to be filling inside. I often tell my clients, it's kind of like when you were a kid and you do those coloring books and you outline and then you shade the inside. See how you shaded the inside in that one like I did for her? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you're much younger than me. So you make that outline and then you're just filling inside. So that's the easiest part, right? Staying inside that line right over here. Just like I did on her, noticing that it's a little bit pointy here. See how much I love this brush? It's so important. And I'm gonna make, this is when you can make adjustments. When you do that up here, you can look at the mirror overall and you can say, well, it can go a little bit lower. Now remember, you might have just put that highlighter underneath just to see if that is for you, right? So you can decide whether now you wanna go back a little bit lower. That's when you can see some hairs really down below. You could tweeze that, you know that that is not what you need. So just very lightly in and around that area. It's already made such a big difference, kind of like matching a little bit on my other side. Now this is very often the color, keep in mind it was mixed with the concealer, but on her, it's almost like a perfect match, right? So again, you're gonna know why it's such a secret for everyone else that doesn't know you did this. So when you comb the hair up like I did on her, look at that. Once it's combed up, that hair is doing a comb over, right? It's combing over all that color you just put on there. So you could see some color there, but not much. Now notice that I'm grazing the pencil throughout the eyebrows. I say graze because very lightly. You want that medium brown to just kind of go and touch the rest of the eyebrow. So there's like this cohesive look to the color. You don't want just color and then nothing, right? You just want it to blend in. It's all about blending as well. Shaping, blending, and outlines. You get all those three, you got a really good eyebrow going there. So look at that. I would say that's a secret spot right there, right? So try to practice at that. Just do that little corner angle. Mine needs to be a little bit more blended, but I'm not doing such a great job on my eyebrow, but trust me, it really does work. And that brow gel, I always say it's so important, right? It's important especially here because when you put that gel over the hair, it keeps the hair over that area that you put a lot of color. It also makes the hair look a little thicker because it has some fibers. So it individualizes the hair. You can see the hair even that much better. It stays up, but not straight up. You always want that kind of angle straight look. At least for me, I like that look. I don't like it when it's straight up. So look at that before and after. Would you say that's pretty good? I would. I really like the way that it's still full up in the front, but there's more of a balance. It's not like thick and thin. It's more like full, medium, and then thin, right? So that is kind of like what I want all of you guys to start practicing with, is to get that kind of balanced look where it's full, medium, and then maybe thin. So it also gives you an overall balanced look for the rest of your face. You always know that I drive that home all the time, that a good brow is what makes your overall looking face, right? Does that make sense? Your face will look good, better, if your brow is in more of a balanced shape. So please pass this along with anyone that you know can benefit from this tip. I know you guys know someone, but you know what? Even if this is not your brow, I promise you, you will get something out of it. Let me know if you did. Please subscribe. I will see you guys right back here. Thank you for your time.